we are now in the state that we can almost name as anomia. That means no international law applicable in a reasonable manner. And of course, violence as a method how to reach political goals. International Court of Justice is somewhere, who knows where is it now. It is almost not existing. So we are in a very dangerous period when we have to recognize that we need some order.
But I think even more seriously is that, our security is not only threatened by armed conflict, classical armed conflicts, but we are now faced with a new phenomenon called hybrid warfare, including things like cyber attacks, disinformation campaigns, deep intelligence operations and whatnot. But I think even worse than that, of course, is the international community. And the structures that we entrusted to deal with such challenges is completely helpless and paralyzed to find solution to these conflicts. The whole world is seeing a growing populism or nativism, which is unfortunately, polarizing ourselves both internationally and domestically. The fact that all of us from different parts of the world are here in Tehran discussing that and what the new world order should look like, at least give me some hope.
The question about order and disorder, and we've been talking about convergence and divergence, all the time, these are binaries. I'll take 2 points, two short points. My first point is that there have been large global shifts. All of us have been talking about them through this conference. I won't go into the details. But fundamentally, in those large global shifts, the nature of power is changing. And that is something we need to appreciate. We need to understand that before we start talking about disorder and order. What is the shift in the nature of power? Resilience is a new currency of power which is actually gaining strength.
Order means peace. Let's be simple. Order means peace. War, it's disorder. The fact that we are seeing around us either wars, proper wars, or cold wars, some other kind of cold wars, or wars to come, speaks that we are living or are crossing a time of disorder. The variables of any order are the games of interest and the balance of power. And the nature of the order depends very much on the nature of power. It could be a military power, it could be an economic power, it could be a cultural power, and so on. As a European, I wouldn't like to see an Asia model growing up without our contribution. And I know that if we do not, support you in order to move in that direction, it is a risk that this new order becomes against us, not without us, but against us.
I think it's also kind of a trap to do one of two things. Either romanticize the past, to say, oh, it was better 1,000 years ago, 600 years ago, or 100 years ago, or even 50 years ago. Because the past is always rosy. And another related problem is also to blame others for what we are facing. I think we are at a horrific moment where our brothers and sisters in Palestine, in occupied Palestine, in Gaza and the West Bank, are being slaughtered, starved, and denied basic human needs with an alarming acceptance and normalization of the situation and complete paralysis of world order.